Hello students, this is the second video of our chapter The New Kings and Kingdoms. Okay, so in previous video we discussed about the Rajput dynasties. Okay, now we will discuss about the administrative system of that. Okay, those dynasties and that medieval period. Hanji, first of all, overall power was rest in the hands of a king. Okay, and his council of ministers. Then to make the work easier, all the kingdoms are divided in small units. Okay, those units are known as bhuktis. Okay, then further bhuktis are also divided in small units. Those are known as vishyas. Then next feature of this period was the growing prominence of samantas. Okay, the land was granted to the samantas by the king, and they collected the all taxes, revenues from that land, and they also made their army troops. Okay, and those troops helped the king during the wartime. Okay, then the rulers compelled the people to pay their tax in the form of cash or in the form of any produce what they produced in the field. Okay, these were the resource of their income. The king used that income for making forts, for manage the administrative system, and for constructing temples, lakes, etc. Okay, so the king also get the money from the places which they occupied by from any other ruler. Clear? Now, the prosperous condition of India attract the foreign invaders. Okay, like Muhammad Ghazni. Muhammad Ghazni was the son of Sabuktigin, who was the founder of Ghaznavi dynasty. Okay, after his death, Muhammad Ghazni became the ruler, and he heard many tales, means many stories about the wealth of India. Okay, so he made a series of wars during 1001 to 1026. He looted India and make the Ghazni. His main purpose was that he wanted to take the wealth of, not to wanted to establish the empire. Okay, in India, wanted to take the wealth and make his city Ghazni beautiful city in the world. Okay, and then he attacked on Punjab, Peshawar, etc. and conquered there. Okay, after he came back to their city. After 150 years, one more Afghan ruler, Muhammad Ghori, okay, who attacked on India, and he also attacked on Multan, Ouch, Peshawar, and established their control on these areas. Okay, he was challenged by Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Okay, in the Battle of Tarain in 1191. Okay, and he was defeated and came back. But next year, with double force, he came back. He attacked again on Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan also requested to the local rulers for help, but nobody helped him, and he fought very bravely. But in the end, he was died. And the battle of Tarain, second battle of Tarain in 1192, and he was defeated, and Muhammad Ghori established his empire in India. Okay, he appointed his general Qutbuddin Aibak the chief of Indian territories, and he came back, okay, to their own country. After his death, Qutbuddin Aibak controlled over Delhi, and he was the founder of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so now the question then arises कि what were the reasons कि why the invaders succeeded in India. Okay, one point we already discussed कि there was disunity among the Indian rulers. they were not rivalry of each other, which were this point also helpful for the invaders. Okay. Then next one, the foreigner invaders have very good technique, good weapons, okay, and great army. Okay, they were also under the guidance of one leader. Indian rulers are fighting with in groups, but Afghan soldiers were stood unified under one leader. Okay, then they have heavy footed animals and fast running horses, okay, which make them very helpful to establish the kingdom in India. Okay, in southern India also many dynasties like Cheras, Pandas, Pallavas, Cholas, Chankyas also established their rules. Okay, they also did very well in these areas. They improved irrigation system, well planned irrigation system, and they promote the culture and literature also. Okay, I hope you clear this. Thanks and have a nice day.